Which pig is Kanye fighting with in addition to Pete Davidson and
Kanye's
Kim?
fighting with Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig.
Today we're going to jump in muddy puddles, Peppa. Ho, ho, ho. My computer needs fixing. This is my brother George, and this is my sister-in-law Taylor Swift.
Okay, can everybody just settle down so we can start World War III properly?
Is Peppa Pig a girl or a boy?
Stop your side fighting.
I think Peppa's a girl.
I thought so.
I always thought it was a boy. I guess we don't know.
Well,
Oh, now another controversy is
yes.
started.
Oh, thanks,
Doesn't
Chris.
matter.
Chris has started another World War
Go,
III.
Chris.
Oh boy.
Carlos, how do you feel about we find ourselves in the middle of the Cold War and Civil War, except that, now the Confederates and the Russians and Republicans are all on one side and we're on the other
I feel that
side.
it has nothing to do with the fact that the Ukrainian government would not give Trump what he wanted, which was to get dirt on Joe Biden. So I feel it has nothing to do with that. I feel that Joe Biden lacks the strength to invite the Taliban to Camp David and negotiate with them.
Right. Yes.
I feel that he also is trying to use diplomacy to deal with, so he can't be a warmonger.
Thank you.
So I feel as confused as anybody, Stephanie.
Speaking of American weakness, thank you. You're the ones that surrendered to the Taliban, you traitor. You traitor.
I am a traitor.
Yes. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Carlos.
He invited them to Camp David, I believe, on 9/11.
Honestly, I was saying Helsinki left me breathless, like when John Comstock hit me in the stomach with a basketball during a dodgeball game.
And he got a soccer ball. From
No, we were Catholic school. We didn't have a budget. They only had basketballs, and that hurt. He was the best athlete in the school, and I thought Helsinki left me like that. And then yesterday, I have to say, even for Trump, and then he doubled down again today, right, Travis? He doubled down. It's just he is just a traitor to the United States. He needs to be locked up. Let's pick one crime.
Carlos is right, though. Putin did give Trump a literal soccer ball. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that
what do I
nice?
do with this?
Yeah.
Does it have breasts on it?
It was his way of saying, "Don't forget the balls when you're."
Where's the hole? Where do I put? Where do I put my thing? How do I get it in?
My thing.
That's all he's thinking about. Is it a female, right? This is. He doesn't know what a soccer ball is.
Such an athlete, Donald Trump. As Bob Seska said earlier, he looks like a snowman made out of canned hams.
Yeah. Kevin McCarthy, the guy who runs from reporters and straight to Mar-a-Lago, is like, Biden shows weakness. Leave me alone, reporter. I. Running like Dino. Dino, come back.
Okay. Matthew in Minneapolis, you're on with Carlos. Hello, Matt. Hey, Matt.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi,
Stephanie.
Hi.
I've always been confused on sanctions because sanctions hurt the people like Pussy Riot, and most of the people hate Putin there anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Putin's got $68 billion stashed around the world. He has access to that. This is not going to hurt Putin.
Well, that's why we're going to escalate sanctions. I think as he escalates, Carlos, and I think that's smart. That's saying, we should have sanctioned preemptively. It's like, well, then what's the deterrent, right?
Right.
By the way, we've had Nadia from Pussy Riot on this program.
We have.
She was fantastic. That anybody in America, Carlos, talks of or thinks of Putin as anything other than the murderous thug that he is astounding to me. It really is.
You mean like Tulsi Gabbard and
Yes.
Jimmy Dore?
Yes. Useful Indian.
Yeah. I'm sure that Jimmy Dore and Tulsi Gabbard would love to sit in a room alone with the Klitschko brothers and explain how they support Putin.
Yeah.
Let us know how that goes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Truth Social has, is it launched or?
It's there.
It's available. You can't, in order to sign up for it, you got to get in a line, though, and the line is over 500,000 people long.
If a tree falls in the wood and there's no one there to hear it, did it really fall?
Yeah.
True. The launch of the long-hyped Trump social media network, Truth Social, has not gone particularly well. In fact, users reportedly were not able to point out on the platform. The Washington Post called the launch disastrous. They noted the launch was plagued by technical glitches, long outages, and a 300,000-person wait list. I note here that I checked out the app's terms of service, and there's one thing that is prohibited on Truth Social. Wasn't it supposed to be because you didn't have freedom of speech on the other platform? Right. You can't disparage, tarnish, or otherwise harm the backers of the site. I imagine that means Donald Trump. So The only truth on Truth Social is that Donald Trump is awesome and never does anything wrong. He's fantastic, dear leader. That's
Absolutely correct, Stephanie. Absolutely. Many people have said I'm never
People.
wrong.
yeah.
People.
People are saying. Okay. In other news, hey, if you think the don't say gay law in Florida is bad,
Gay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Disney World. Be gay. Pounding on Mickey.
Oh, there is the amendment to the Don't Say Gay bill that would have forced teachers to out LGBT students to their parents has been dropped.
Yes.
Oh, isn't that nice?
yes.
Oh, nice.
30% less awful. What's his douche, the right winger, withdrew his amendment when it came under heavy criticism from Florida teachers, students, and parents. Even though this particular amendment has been removed, the Don't Say Gay bill as a whole is still moving forward. In theory, this could force gay teachers to hide their marriages from their students or else be at risk of being sued by parents. Okay. Can we
Please
just
accept
call
the
them
fact-
regressives? They just want to go back to, I don't know what, 1950 America, maybe farther back.
Pardon the satire here, but that bill is so gay.
Yeah.
Yes, it is gay.
I'm looking at a photo of the Florida state legislator
Yes.
who his name is Joe Harding, and he looks like the kind of person that would go around high school hallways looking for homos to
To shove into lockers?
yes, or
Yeah.
to give wedgies to. Yes. Uh-huh.
All right. Well, it's worse than that. The United States Supreme Court is expected to weaken anti-discrimination laws in the United States after the court agreed to hear the case 303 Creative versus Elenis. Ian Millhiser, our former legal animus, said, in the past few years, the Supreme Court danced around the question of whether religious conservatives have a constitutional right to violate anti-discrimination laws, and specifically laws prohibiting discrimination against LGBTQ people. Now it appears ready to come out and say that at least some businesses have a constitutional right to discriminate. The case involves a website design company who wants to provide wedding websites, but only to opposite-sex couples without violating Colorado's anti-discrimination law. Ian says this will likely give Smith, that's the owner, a license to do so, and it could very well give an expansive license to all business owners who claim that their religion requires them to discriminate against LGBTQ people. Are we going to call it the reindeer games, Bill? You're not allowed to play in any of our reindeer games.
From now on, gang, we won't let Rudolph join in any reindeer games.
And it's like Charlie Pierce said yesterday, like Roe v. Wade's just the beginning. They're coming for Griswold. They're coming for contraceptives for straight people. They're coming for the right to privacy in general. I mean,
And now you know why I can't watch The Handmaid's Tale.
thank you. Travis suggested I watch that. I'm like,
cannot watch
as
it, man.
entertainment,
It's coming.
as fiction.
It's a survival guide.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like how can you tell people are gay unless they're openly affectionate in your restaurant? I can come on and go like, oh, my wife and I would like to sit at your table. No, you know what I mean? You and Chris can go in there as it pose as a couple, eat restaurant, and go, surprise, we're gay. Thanks for your service.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Every picture of Travis and I we look like a fantastic straight couple from Sonoma.
Yes.
I say you go to these places then and
We look like a really happily
wanna
married
do it.
couple from Sonoma.
Got them fooled.
oh man, when is this Jesus dude gonna come back like Fugelsang and go, dudes, I never said any of this.
I didn't say
Yeah.
any of it.
What's
Never
going on?
mentions homosexuality. Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of the Supreme Court, I was saying Elie Mystal was all over this before the Washington Post and all that, but it just, and I get it that, and I'm sort of like, what's Putin knocking out of the headlines? January 6th committee, Trump,
Yes.
stealing top secret classified
Voter
material
suppression.
that he probably gave to Putin. You know what I mean? It's just, but anyway, this is a huge story. Well, first of all, two stories. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas's wife, Ginny, had ties to organizers of January 6th. This
Yep.
has been out there for a while, floating around. I'm like, why is this not a bigger story? In support of Trump, as well as efforts to subvert the 2020 election results, which could have ended up, of course, before the Supreme Court if they hadn't rejected it. Right? Thomas played a longtime conservative activist, played a peacekeeping role between rally organizers so there wouldn't be any division around January 6th. The way it was presented to me was that Ginny was uniting these different factions around a singular mission on January 6th, overturning the election. This is the wife of a sitting Supreme Court justice. Thomas is also connected to people who sought to undo the 2020 election results. John Eastman previously clerked for Clarence Thomas at the Supreme Court and is a close friend of the couple. He's wrote the coup memo,
Yep.
or one of the, I can't remember which piece this is, New York Times, I think. Trump administration created an opposition research file on Ginny Thomas, the far-right activist married to Clarence Thomas. It detailed the power Ginny Thomas has within the conservative movement. I guess this was because even they were aware of. I think she was backing Ted Cruz originally.
She was Ted Cruz
They knew
delegate.
what a whack job she was, right? At the Trump White House. So the Trump courted Justice Thomas. It talks about how Ginny Thomas used that courtship to gain access to the Oval Office, where her insistent policy and personnel suggestions so aggravated aides, one called her a wrecking ball, while the others put together an opposition research-style report on her that was obtained by the Times about the extent to which Justice Thomas flouted judicial ethics guidance by participating in events hosted by conservative organizations with matters before the court. Here's another example, Carlos. They just don't play by the same rules we do.
Nope.
Elena Kagan recused herself from anything had to do with anything that she had worked on in the Obama administration, right? But they just don't. It's like they have no rules on their side. And I think this should call for resignation at the very least. I would say impeachment, but okay. There is one report on a January 25th, 2019 meeting with Trump. It was the craziest meeting I've ever been to, said a Trump aide, with Ginny Thomas and the president. Let's see. The wife of a sitting Supreme Court justice lobbying a president when several cases involving transgender rights were making their way through the federal courts. Before the meeting, Trump's aides assembled this research document outlining concerns with Ginny Thomas and some of her preferred job candidates, the contents of which they shared with the president. It noted that Ginny Thomas ally Crystal Clanton had been forced out of Turning Point USA for reportedly texting, "I hate black people," like N-words, them all, or excuse me, like, that's the F word, them all.
Yeah.
I hate blacks. End of story. Thomas reportedly pushed for positions for Dan Bongino and former Milwaukee Sheriff David Clark. Oh my God, and all these nutcases. Someone said, I appreciated her energy, but a lot of the people couldn't pass background checks. Well, the fact that this is not a bigger story, Carlos, what is this about? Right? I mean, this is another Supreme Court seat. First of all, he should never have been in it in the first place. I love that they're talking about affirmative action now, by the way, with, this list of that Biden has so far is some of the most qualified people we've ever heard of for the Supreme Court.